Hello, my name is Axel Neitgedacht, and I'm very happy that we can start book coding together with you. And now, I'm first of all, I want just to mention that I'm not a professional programmer. I mean, professional streamer, and neither a podcaster. So I'm not sure if we want to use this virtual background that I have right now, or maybe another custom-made background. We have also another option. I will maybe just turn my virtual background off so that you can choose between those. So here is another one. This here. So um, it's like we have those images here because there, give me a sec, there we have like something in between, right? There will be the camp and the activities, so it's not so interesting for you. So I thought maybe if the guys here can stand and hold it behind me, it will be okay for you. So we will send a poll on the group on Telegram, and you can vote for your favorite option, and we can take it up later. But for now, I will just turn this video, this background on. Okay, thanks. What we want to do now, I will just share with you. mm, Sebastian, can you turn your microphone off so that I can better hear what, not hear your the voices there. So today we will have this introduction here, and then later a lunch podcast, and then later we have a spot where we want to code basically, and the coaches will be available there. I will show you just what I'm thinking about. So here is the book coding webpage, and if you are on this URL, you can enter it. Please join our Telegram group because we'll send some messages there, as well as the poll is there where you can vote for your favorite background for podcasting, and the Discord channel. So there are some courses. You can go to YouTube here, and here you've got our playlists. So basically, we have 4 new courses this time on this for this camp, and then later we have some other courses recorded already for you from the previous ones. You have also some playlists we've prepared for you, including all the previous tutorials we've done for you. So enjoy it. And as mentioned, if I go back to the plan for today, from after the lunch podcast, it is basically created to allow you to eat your lunch and visit or see the streaming. And after it, we'll have open session where the coaches will be available on Discord. So you can just ask your questions there. We can also help you one-on-one if you get stuck on any of the courses. And basically, if you scroll down, you have those 4 courses that are available for today. So I hope, and we hope you will love and enjoy it very much. Yes, and later what we have also here, I want to share with you a short presentation about before we jump into the lunch podcast. So I will share it with you right now. You should be seeing it. Here it is. So maybe you are asking yourself, why at all should I learn to program or start with IT? What is it, and what advantages does it have for me? I have just briefly summarized a few topics for you today. So first of all, there are tons of church projects which require good programmers, and there are some programmers that we have like outsourced outside from the church, but we, all the members of BCC, we know exactly what the church needs, and it's much better if a good programmer is from the church because he knows a bigger vision behind the thing that we are doing. So what we actually have is the BMM. Think about all the advantages you are becoming each day from BMM app, from Brunsta TV, the streaming that we have seen with Cora right now. It was amazing. It is amazing that we, despite Corona or despite the situation, we can still have the edification and things from brothers. And the Brunsta portal and all the church websites are also made by programmers. There are a lot of church interesting projects, and all the transmissions, for example, if there were no people at, for example, Brunsta TV, we could not get all of this. There are also, and in the future, why I am talking it and telling it to you right now, because I think and really believe that in the future, the IT will be much more important for the church as it is right now. So we have this, for example, the Active Christianity page we've seen at the last camp where one of the guys was talking about the things behind there. You can see it on our YouTube channel as well. But there will be a lot of interesting mission projects in the future. I'm pretty sure. Thank you, just about the Bible X project that they started this year. I hope we'll pretty soon get some more input from Princeton TV. What is the Bible project, and if they basically or generally already have any plans or any games. And BCC Online and, or for example, Telegram bots, I'm pretty sure there are different processes inside of your church or maybe even family where you could develop a good Telegram bot. For example, we have those gatherings where we gather money for our different goals. And with one of our friends made a Telegram bot where he simply helped us to track who gave, not who gave how much, but what the status is. Pretty simple, but very, very helpful. And also on this camp, there's one tutorial about how to make an interesting Telegram bot. So I hope we will enjoy it. For sure, I'm not sure how much you already think about it if you are still going at school, but in general, programmers get a stable income each month, so you can build and use the money you get then in the future for anything you wish, and also to help the others, for example. So even you can work remotely, so live in one country and earn much more in another country. And in general, the IT folks have good salaries, but also we are really helping people. So I'm a product owner where we are basically defining what can we develop, how to make life of our users better, simpler. And this is a really good feeling if there is, for example, a business process or something that people deal with each day, and then they get IT system which helps them to do that more efficiently or at all. IT systems often enable different things that were not possible before. So any optimizations, think about it that you are, for example, in 5 years, a good programmer. It mustn't be a programmer, but for example, a graphic designer or anything in IT or in technology, and you are able with your skills to help people. That's really amazing. But this also means you have to invest your time now in it. And it's very fun to understand things, why and how different things work, how they are done, or why it doesn't work for me. It's cool to fix IT things for yourself at your own. But you can also show cool different, for example, your first page to your brother. Hey, see, this is my first page I have done on this book coding camp. Isn't it amazing? Yes, it is. Make another one for me as well. I will pay you for that, for example. This is how we could start with IT. And I would, at the end of this short introduction, I would also like to mention a short thing about dopamine or endorphins that we have. So a lot of people that are starting with coding have some game background. We'll tomorrow see also some games and today as well. And it is simply like that games and videos give you a lot of good feelings, a lot of good feelings of hormones, and it's much easier and much more interesting to play games, right? And you have kind of think about it in that way that if I want to learn now programming, for example, then I need to focus, for example, on half an hour, and then I will not have this quite exciting feeling this half hour, but later you will have it. So what I want to say here is that you should be actually owner of your mind and of your time. So think about it. If you think, for example, programming is not so interesting as playing League of Legends or any other game, it will help you if you think about it in that way, that it is actually only hormones that I have or the good feelings that I have. If I focus now to learn this topic pretty good, I can do that, and later I will get those good feelings as well. And if you train yourself, you'll be much more efficient at work later as well. Um, so this was just to mention it for now. Uh, this was a short introduction. I also want to go through the plan with you right now together. So I will share it with you on Miro, what we have today and what we have tomorrow. Here is the Miro board I want to show you. So basically, today we will start at, we are already starting with the introduction, and tomorrow we have, today we have some podcasts with Olavi Hopola, who will tell us about their book coding club in Finland. Then we have a live talk with Simon Schick about neutral networks experiments. Pretty interesting, I hope. Jan Sverre has a short introduction what PHP is and why is it so popular on the internet. And Mine Vessels from Netherlands shows what his group works on, shows us a game on which they work with like 11 people, I think. And what is it about? And later from 2 o'clock, we will start those open sessions where we will, as coaches, will be available on Discord and can help you with different questions you have and so on. And you can, this is time for you to make those tutorials, the old ones or the new ones that we have. And plan for tomorrow is that we start with Hello World podcast. Maybe you already know it from the group that we have, where we have posted two episodes of it, where Stefan will show us an Android game he did, and Mind Vessels, another Godot game as well. On the Lunch podcast, Olavi Hapola will show us how to publish a website in less than 5 minutes. So basically, maybe you have created a website, but you don't know how to send the link to this web page to your friends. So he'll see it there. Jan Samet will say us some fun facts about IT, and then we have Phil Dallin and Jan Chepina about two different topics. So we hope you will really enjoy it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask those on Telegram groups. And that's it. We are happy to welcome you on the book coding, and have a nice day. Bye. Hello, back again. It's nice to see you again. What we want to do right now is to allow you to eat during we are talking. So I have got my coffee, I've got the chocolate, and I hope you have your lunch as well. You enjoy it as well. So the first thing we want to take a look on is a lot of us have different ideas about what to do on in their local book groups. You could, for example, start a book club or coding group, coding activity. That's what they do in Finland, and that's why Olivier Hopola wants to tell us a bit about it, how they do it. So I hope you will enjoy it and gather some new ideas for your local book group.
Hi, Olavi. Good to have you here in
Hello.
the podcast.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, can you just introduce yourself and tell a few words about you?
Yeah, so I'm Olavi Haapala. I'm from Finland and I'm a software developer. So I work mainly as like building websites, web developer
Okay,
for work.
cool. So you earn money with programming.
Yeah, I do that full time, and then also on the side I have my own company where I do cutting down trees.
Okay,
Almost
that's
like a
interesting.
hobby, but
That's interesting. And we've been talking a bit before the podcast, and you said that you actually have a few years ago, I think 2 years ago, you said you started a program or an activity with a bunch of kids where you were doing some programming. Could you say something more about this concept or about this project?
yeah, so I'm from Kirkkonummi, which is like a quite small church, but we tried this a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, having like a coding club for the kids. So I think we had about 10 kids participating
Oh.
from varying from like maybe from 10 years to 16 years or something like that. So pretty young kids, and we tried to like encourage them to try out coding, building some simple websites.
Mm-hmm. Do you have still some of those websites or of those codes somewhere?
Yeah, I actually have them available because I made a repository in GitHub for those like courses or like those lessons that sessions that we had. So it's online and we can take a look at that
Yeah, you have
if we
to.
want.
You have to show it.
Okay, I can try to share my screen. So I hope you can see my screen
Yeah,
now.
I see it.
Yeah, so I made this. So GitHub is this place where you can host your code. So I made this Kodikerho, which means coding club. I made this as a repository with 10 or like starting from day 0 we had the first time, and then every time we did something during the session I would upload a new folder with the contents what we managed to do during that day. And then these are online here in as a website, so we can check what we did. On the very first thing we
Oh,
did
some
was
GIFs.
like yeah, building a simple web page with HTML, adding some links. We tried to like learn the very basics of HTML, and then adding images and links to some other HTML pages on this like HMO. That was wrong. I was going to go back to the where I was. So here.
Cool. And what was the end result of the sessions?
Yeah, so the end result was that everyone who was participating could write their own website and have them online, so they could then share what they managed to create during that day. And then we would have like different days. So we had, I think we had 10, no, actually 11. From 0 to 10
Oh,
is
okay.
11. So 11 sessions, and so first we learned HTML, then we started doing some JavaScript, and with JavaScript we built this simple game, and the end result was a
Yeah,
snake
game for
game.
sure.
Yeah, so we made this simple snake game that you could play. It has a sound as well. I don't know if you can hear it in the sound in the, but then if you die, then you can post your
Oh, amazing.
top score to the list, but actually we didn't and managed to come up to the top 10 now.
Okay, yeah, you're not so good on it, I must admit.
No.
Okay, that's interesting. And are some of the guys still doing some coding of this group? You mentioned 10 kids.
Yeah, at least like one of the kids is doing some coding or kind of like hacking.
Okay.
Every once in a while, and like, but yeah, most of them don't actually do that actively, but at least they know what like building websites means, and they could learn it if they, or like go deeper into it if they want to.
Cool. That's cool that you invest in the newer generation and learn them stuff. Okay, Olavi, thank you for joining us. It was interesting to hear what you are doing with the U18s at your local church.
Okay.
IT club in your group. And Olavi, it's amazing that you have content or ideas for U18s in your local church. So I think there are a lot of mentors as well watching us now and will watch us later. Maybe they can contact you and ask if you have any ideas about it, because I do believe that investing in the future generation is even sometimes better than learning a new skill at your own. Then next thing is we want to see a bit about Jan Sverre, or we want to talk with Jan Sverre. I spoke with him yesterday about PHP, what PHP is, and why is it so popular on the internet. So this is a 5 minutes talk of mine with him, so enjoy it.
Hello, Jan Sverre. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you.
Jan Sverre, could you tell a few words about yourself?
Yes, I can. My name is Jan Sverre Riksfjord, and I am 29 years old. I work for Landax as a PHP developer. Landax is a company with a web-based system. So I work with as a web developer in PHP. And I have been working there for almost 10 years, since I was only 18. So
that's quite a lot. We do have in plans today to talk a little bit about PHP, but you said you are a PHP developer. It's basically a backend language, but could you tell what a backend is, first of all?
That's quite a new thing in web. When PHP was new, it was no backend. It was PHP was used to generate HTML pages, so for the browser, directly for the browser. So it was both backend and frontend in the same. It was actually written as a template language. But today in web development, you are almost always working with backend and API, and front-end which is JavaScript, Vue, React, Angular. So PHP is then used as a backend language server-side to provide data for the front-end.
And basically a backend could also be a backend for an app on mobile device and then client on anywhere, right?
Yeah, cool. When you have an API, it will provide data, and you can read the data with any type of client. Yes, that's great.
You said, Jan Sverre, that you are already developing 10 years. Why in PHP?
The main reason that we are using PHP is actually because that's what's the most popular when we started. So we started with it, and the company became pretty big, and there was no reason to change it because PHP solves all of our problems. If we should start a new today, we would have discussed it, probably land on PHP then, but I don't know. But the reason is that we started with it then, and we have no reason to change because it's solving all of our problems.
That's cool. Jan Sverre, you also have some statistics for us today to share. About how popular PHP is, just to have it like some numbers here.
Here we have the statistics. PHP, this is for websites. And here PHP is very dominating with 79.1% of the usages, and with ASP.NET on the second place with 9.3.
That's amazing. That's a lot. So it means like if I visit 5 pages, we can think about it that 4 of them are written in PHP.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you have any assumptions? Why is it like that? Why is it so popular?
PHP came very early. It was developed before year 2000 to be able to make HTML pages dynamically, so you don't have to write an entire HTML file. So it came very early, and people started using it. And the other one came after, but PHP was already then very big, and you have a big community. It's easy to get answers, and it's also very easy to start with. You can just have one single PHP file and you can write code out of the box. It's very easy to start with. Another reason is because of that most of the biggest content management systems is written in PHP. I can show that too. We have here the overview over the most used content management systems, and WordPress is dominating, and WordPress is written in PHP. I also know that Joomla and Drupal is written in PHP, and I'm very sure that Shopify is also PHP. So this is also a main reason that so many pages is in PHP. And also Facebook is mainly PHP.
Okay.
So,
and would you, if someone would like to start programming today, would you advise him to start with PHP?
It depends on what you want to do. If you just want to try out some code and you want to see it in a browser, the PHP is very nice to start with, because you don't have to do a big setup to start with it. It's just one file and you can get it going. So the main, the most important thing when you're learning developing is to learn the concepts. You learn object-oriented programming, learn if tests, variables, everything, and PHP has all that. So no matter which language you start with, you should learn the concepts, and you can do that in PHP very easily because it's very easy to start with.
Okay, cool. So I think it's enough for now, Jan Sverre. Thank you for telling a bit about it, but maybe you have some fun facts about PHP or some interesting stories about your PHP journey.
Yeah, I can say that PHP, the initial name was Personal Homepage Processor. But when it became so popular and it is used by companies, Facebook, everything, a personal homepage was a little strange, but they couldn't change the acronym, so they just called it PHP Hypertext Processor. So the first P in PHP is actually PHP.
Okay.
PHP Hypertext Processor. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I think, Jan Sverre, there would be a lot of topics we could cover together, but I think it's enough for now. And if someone is interested in what PHP is or how to program it in it, he will dig in on his own. So
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks, and
Goodbye.
have a good day. Bye.
So are we live now? Cool. Now I would like to introduce Simon here. Simon Schick, I've been working a bit with him as well, but mainly not so much actually in the past. Simon, could you just tell a few words about yourself? What are you doing actually?
I'm currently working at a company called ITC Service. We are currently doing hardware development, means we're developing our own hardware and also a cloud service connected to it. I'm working on the cloud service there. Yeah. Before that, I've worked with different projects of various different scales. So some of them are also church related, and I have to say personally that those were the most interesting.
Okay.
To me, kind of, yeah.
Could you mention one of the church projects, for example?
One of them I've worked the longest with was BMM. That was really cool, and it was also really impressive to see the effort put in by the people working on the project before me, because they did it all on free time, right?
I've got it. Yeah. Today, Simon, you would like to tell us a few words about neural networks, what it is, and what is this magical machine learning topic, because you also have some ideas and plans what could be implemented in BMM, right?
Right.
But Simon, could you just start with briefly introducing us to the topic? What is actually a neural network?
Mhm. A neural network comes under the topic of artificial intelligence. This is kind of a topic which contains a ton of technologies. One of them is neural networks. And all of these technologies are trying to achieve an artificial intelligence, kind of, right? To imitate a human brain. To be a robot that is self-thinking, you will need artificial intelligence. If you have a bot in your Counter-Strike, this should also be kind of intelligent, right? And all these things need artificial intelligence.
I've been hearing sentences like, for example, that last year our artificial intelligence was released, and now it's kind of in the internet. It was a funny sentence I've heard maybe 2 years ago. It is becoming AI is becoming a marketing name, I feel. When does it all start?
There are many of these words, like you hear often buzzwords like AI and big data and whatnot. But but the best thing I heard there was that there is this German saying, "Everyone brews with water." So there is no magic thing. It is kind of sometimes you just need to plug some ideas together in order to get the cool result. I wouldn't say that AI was around since AI has actually been around, and also neural networks have been around since a decade or long more, but only in the last decades computer got so powerful that it was lucrative for companies to go into this topic. And one thing that is driving everyone mad is, for example, also the ideas of self-driving cars, right? You need cameras that analyze the environment and so on and so on.
Okay, but can you just tell us what is this a neural network?
Let me quickly, therefore, share my screen. I will give you a sample on one specific neuronal network. This one is called a deep learning or a convolutional neural network. There are many different kinds of those networks, right? If you, for example, look up a picture on Google, Google somehow need to be trained on what is on that picture, right? This course here, by the way, is one that I would highly recommend. It is called Machine Learning is Fun. I found it via Googling it. It is on medium.com, but I can also write it on Discord and in the Telegram group afterwards. It is an 8-part course explaining things in a very, you do not need to know programming in order to understand it. Right?
Okay.
But it gives you an idea of many of the concepts about it, right? Let's let's think that you have a lot of handwritten numbers of 8. You have all of them in an 18 by 18 pixel image, right? Then you have 18 times 18 is 324. You have a function that has 324 inputs. All those inputs are just the color value of this image. It then kind of looks like this. You represent every grayscale into a numeric value. And this is the input to your function. You write a function that takes all of this as input. And your function now has an output of percentages. Like, let's say for 0, you have a percentage from 1 to 100. For 1, you have a percentage of 1 to 100. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? For all the digits, you have a percentage that tells how likely it is to be this number. In the beginning, your calculation will just use random numbers, right? And afterwards, you have a so-called trainer. This trainer tells your function what you actually got as an input now is an 8. Please change some of the values you have in your calculation in order for the result to be 100% 8 and 0% on all the other numbers. If you do this also for a lot of 8s, for a lot of 2s, for a lot of 5s, and so on, you kind of you kind of will get a function that is so-called trained, right? If you feed this with a dog, it has no idea what it should give you as a result, and it will, for example, give you 30% 8, 50% 2.
You say those percent, what does it mean that it's 30% 8?
This means how sure the system is that it is this number.
Right.
For example, if you have an 8 where one of the lines is kind of missing or dirty, it could also be a 6, right? It could also be a 3. So this neural network will say, I'm 80% sure it's an 8, but it could also be a 6. I'm sure about 60%. It could also be a 6. I'm also 20% sure it could be a 3, but no way it will be a 0, or a 1, right? Like the system also, by training it, you get that kind of a comfortability in saying that it is or it is not, and this kind of this whole article here will explain it to you in a much better way than I did. If you want to do it this for yourself, if you want to train a network yourself, you will most likely need a very good graphics card. So all you gamers, you're very welcome. You bought the right tool.
You bought the right tool.
No.
So summarize, there's simply a set of learning data. Then the neural network learns that this image here is an 8. And then if a new image comes in, it is, for example, an 8. Then the neural network can say us, I'm 80% sure it's an 8, and then writes this is an 8, right?
Right, correct. And most of the time, if you just want one result, you take that result that has the highest percentage.
Right.
If you also want to go a bit deeper into that, on the Pentecostal camp, I remember, I recorded something about neural networks, and there I also got a training set ready that we went through. So if you guys are interested, check that out.
But Simon, what is actually this whole AI neural networks used for? Do you have some real examples of that?
One example where I don't know how much neural networks are used here, but I just thought it would be cool to also show it. I think I lost the screen.
Yeah, you stopped. Right, you stopped sharing the screen.
There we go. One thing that I wanted to show you is the F-35 fighter jet. It is a jet that looks like this, very futuristic, and this and the pilot flying this one has a helmet. You can see here one of the guys trying it, and he, in his screen, will actually be able to see what is happening outside the plane. So this here has kind of a camera down here, and I guess that you then have a couple of sensors in the helmet that, maybe combined with a neural network, can then fine-tune which camera to take, because this plane has cameras all around, and he can then kind of change look around with his head and actually see through the plane,
Okay.
see where the missiles will hit, see how high he is flying, and so on and so on. It's a
Mhm.
pretty cool thing, pretty expensive. Also, it costs 400,000 US dollars. So it is about 4 times 10,000 points cabinet at Brunster. So if you want to compare it with a hotel suites over there.
Mhm.
Another project which I have been looking into, where I know that they use it, is simulations of, for example, fluids. Here, for example, um, 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 he, he- here, for example, we have some water in the background, and it is piling up, and this will flow into the city. And now this flow should be as natural as possible, right? So
Mhm.
this here was also done by a neuronal network, um, which is kind of pretty impressive in my opinion, because this is a technique which can render this data live. And if you've been into 3D and rendering, you know that rendering some of your 3D objects can take a ton of time, especially if you have a lot of details in it. And I would say that this is so realistic that it's almost incredible to think that this is rendered in real time. And this could maybe help us in the future in our 3D programs to get quicker rendering. Here is another example.
Mhm.
Um,
Amazing. So it would then learn, for example, from real the water behavior, how it behaves in the nature, and then simulate it then later.
right. Um, if um, if you, for example, think that you take a picture of a landscape that you built with Lego, like
Mhm.
this landscape here looks a bit like Lego, right?
Yeah.
You have the landscape in real, and you have the landscape as a 3D model. So if you now pour water into it, you record it with your camera, and this photo footage is taken um, to your program, given to the program, and the program shall now make a fluid that pours into this virtual world, but should look alike the photo footage. And the more alike it gets, the more you can say, okay, now we have real water. Now we get to a different scenario. We build a second Lego landscape, pour water into it, and see how it behaves. And then you train the network again, and over and over and over again. And then you do this with 15, 18 different people. All those train this network. And suddenly you have a network that learns very fast.
Mhm.
Right?
We have
Like,
even a company here in Wrocław in Poland where they develop an app
mhm.
on devices where you can get paid for learning neural networks. So you get, for example, images on your phone, and you then just click, this is a mountain, this is a person, this is a
Mm,
Asian girl, for example, so that
mm.
the neural networks from many different companies around the world can learn from your data, because neural networks always need input data to train themselves.
Right, right. And that is what people say where data gets expensive. Like, like nobody but Google, I guess, has so many images with so many labels, because many web developers, like on an image, you usually write an alternative text. It is then written in the property alt alt,
Mhm.
right? And those are, if you're a web developer, you usually put it there for people who have disabilities, like who cannot see, right? So that so that also they will get the content of what this image should show, right? But
Right.
this also helps search engines to learn what is on that picture. And if you have millions and millions of pictures, and all those pictures have an alt tag, you can train them by that.
So we basically trying to be up and up and on Google and using the right keywords and so on. We are actually feeding Google with learning data for their machine learning algorithms. Cool. Do you have another example?
Another example I have is this one here, which is very interesting. They here made a skeleton and gave it muscles.
Mm-hmm.
And then they told the AI, control this character that it walks in the most perfect way or in the most efficient way, that it uses the least muscles, for example, and that it keeps relaxed for the most time. Or you can train this model to jump the highest, right? And then you figure out a way like no human can try so often as a computer. A computer can try throughout the night even, right? Like to give just one example. Um, and one thing they did, they then changed this model um, to 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 a model which has disabilities, like who has a stiff knee or who has tipping toes. Um, and they then came up with the most efficient way, kind of, and could now help people who have this disability to come back to a normal life even quicker by training them with the right or with the most efficient way
Interesting.
of learning to walk again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Was there one more example? I don't remember.
I think I had one more. Yeah, this one here. Oh, this is one of my personal favorites.
Okay.
Um, 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 here here you can actually do the following. What you do, this is a neural network that has been trained on a ton of images, on a ton of landscape images, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I now here can take a color. A color represents just a type of material. For example, a tree. This person is now here painting a tree, and um, and as I let the video go, um, you will see that as the person fills this area with tree,
Mm-hmm.
the neural network discovers, I've seen a tree like this before. Let's put in something that looks a bit similar,
Amazing.
you know? And you can, by this, you can kind of create your own landscape by the knowledge of the neural network, because the neural network has seen a ton of images with mountains. So it knows how to, or it can kind of create a mountain there, right?
Mm-hmm. I wonder if there's already a game where the whole world is created for each person from the beginning, so that no one gets the same like mission, no one gets the
Yeah,
same level designed because it's all designed by a neural network, or would be interesting.
it could very well be that, for example, games like Dungeon and Dragons,
Mm-hmm.
they they usually have a dungeon master who has the role um, of a storyteller. Yes, um, who then also tells the characters what to do. So this task could in the future be taken by an AI, by an
Yeah,
artificial intelligence. And that
right.
would be nice to play that game, because this would be not predictable at all.
Yeah, or you simply tell the story and AI paints it. You tell that there is, for example, a tree in the middle of the landscape, and then it is visualized by a AI.
Yeah, exactly. That is also possible. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, Simon, I think it's we're good with that for now. We do have one more talk to you, dear audience. It's a short talk about a group from Netherlands where they have started a project. They are basically creating a browser game in Unity game engine where they want to be it a multiplayer game with a lot of small games in Brunstad actually. So they have some graphic designers and programmers and so on, and they recorded a 2 or 3 minutes summary for us what we want to show you right now, and this will be the last thing for today, live from our studio. So enjoy later all the tutorials we prepared, and if you have any questions, you can ask us on Discord or Telegram, and we hope to help you. Bye.
Hi, we are from Twente. This is Meine, and I'm Koen. And half a year ago, we started in Twente with the BUK Coding group. Right now, we're working on a 3D multiplayer game. And when we started, we were only with 5, and now we're with 11 people working on the same project. Not only coding, but also designing and music design. So.
Yeah, our what our current game that we're working on is called Brunstad.io. It's called that because we saw the domain name was available, so we just kind of took it, and there's not a trademark, so we're not officially affiliated with Brunstad, but not yet. But the vision is basically a multiplayer game, and you can roam around the 3D version of the Brunstad map and play mini games together, maybe trade and get skins and all sorts of stuff. We play paintball on the Brunstad terrain and stuff like that. Just a multiplayer, fun, interactive game. We have several U18 people on our team who like to work on different stuff. Like we have someone who likes to work on graphic design. We have someone who likes to work on the soundtrack of the game. We have several 3D modelers because we did discover that 3D modeling is actually like the bulk of the work of this game. We're both programmers, so we don't have a lot of experience with 3D modeling, so that was kind of a challenge. But we can show you some of the work that we've done already, a bit of footage of fun stuff that we've already been able to do, like a prototype of a mini game or like what kind of graphic design we've done already.
As mentioned, we have a graphic designer on the team. His name is Raimon, so credits to him for this logo he made. We also have a sound producer on the team. His name is Lars, and he has already made several songs for the background, but he also will produce the sounds for walking, running, and jumping, so that's nice. We also have modelers on the team, of course, and these models are made by Hugo. He's our most experienced modeler, and these are models we use all over the place, so like trees and that kind of stuff.
Here we also have a bit of a demo of a mini game we already tried to implement into our game. This is not actually like the final version of the game, it's actually just a proof of concept for this mini game together with multiplayer. Just simple racing game. This can be translated to Brunstad.io in the form of like those Brunstad golf carts, so you can race together with them over the Brunstad terrain against your friends. Maybe you get leaderboards for times and stuff like that. And you can see them. You can see them racing here. You see the physics interact with each other, which is actually quite difficult to implement. And all the cars jumping around, it means that the physics are still not too amazing. We also have a separate clip showing how amazing the physics of our game are. When we finally implemented exiting of our cars, we got this very interesting bug where when you exit your car, you get stuck under your car and your car just launches in the air. But just in the process of game development, you get a lot of fun stuff like that. And well, that was basically what we've been working on. We're still going to work on it most of the Fridays if we can. It's kind of a long-term project, but we're hoping to get something looking pretty good in like a year or something.